is Sarah.
And I'm David. We're talking about Big Brother, which is getting more frustrating every single episode, but...
David, you're supposed to say we're talking about
We're
Big
talking
Brother.
about Big Brother. We love it. It's great. I'm trying to hold out hope that it's not just going to be the Grateful all season.
The Grateful season? Look, it's interesting, good gameplay, but it's week after week, it is just harder and harder to root for people.
And here's maybe the hardest person to root for is Bella. So let's start with Bella because we're going to recap the Wednesday episode, then get into this live eviction that happened.
Right, and we'll fill in the blanks with what we saw in the live feeds.
Right. Now it all starts with Bella coming clean to Nicole that she had to tell Jack about the Black Widows to save their game, and Nicole's like, what?
Who know what now? Yeah.
What does this have to do with saving my game? Because now I'm the one who didn't tell Jack.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but I think in Bella's defense, Bella just doesn't know what she's doing.
Bella might...
Things fall out of her mouth.
More so than Christy. We thought Christy was a talker.
She is.
If Bella has a secret, she will tell it.
Right. She just can't keep it inside.
She told Jack about the Black Widows, and then she couldn't keep that inside. She had to tell Nicole that she told Jack about the, she has to
it just
tell
keeps going. It just keeps going.
It's never ending. So Nicole she plays it cool, Nicole is good at Big Brother, and she's like, okay, so.
Okay, got it. Well, now I'm probably a threat or a target now. Okay, great.
Right.
Okay.
So then Nicole kind of goes to Jess, and she's like, just so you know, Bella outed us to Jack, and Jess is like, that's a bitch ass move, which I love. That is exactly the reaction I want.
That is exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Bella also did give Kimi that heads up, but they didn't show us that in this episode, but that was what happened.
Right.
Then we see Kimi trying to talk to Jack, and this is actually a theme. Luckily, we didn't see it as many times as it happened.
Yeah.
But she would try to be like, all right, I'm gonna go talk to Jack.
Yeah.
She's working at this game. She's giving it a shot.
She is.
But Jack doesn't want to really do anything.
No.
He's not really willing to talk to her.
Because she's his target.
She's not willing to really spill a bunch of beans or give him information.
Not how she plays.
So these conversations go nowhere.
Yeah.
Every single time they try, Kimmy's like, okay, we're gonna hash this out. She'll go back up there and she'll talk to him. Nothing. Doesn't work.
Right. So then they show us this David segment, which was super great because David has the whole house figured out. Yes. He sees all of the couples that are happening.
Yes.
He kind of sees where the house is divided and aligned, and it's just all very clear to him, which is one of the great parts of this camp comeback, I think, is to see someone who's out of the game, was never really in the game, but he can step in, and I think being out of the game gives him this extra level of clarity. He's not second guessing himself as much as someone who's in the game would be, but he's got his finger on the pulse. Here's
the thing, is we loved Ovi so much, but I got to a point where I was like, dude, you can't see it, you're frustrating me. But I was like, I guess when you're in the middle of it, it's just hard to see.
Yeah.
And then David walks in, and within an hour of being in that house, he had it all figured out. And so I was like,
all of it.
Wait a minute, it's not as hard as Ovi made it seem.
Right, it's almost like production fed David the lines, but we know they didn't, right?
I don't think that they did. Some of the house guests were like, he must have had live feeds, he knows too much.
No, they would never do that because David has a potential to come back in the game. They wouldn't do that.
I think he's just smart.
He's got the beat on the house, unreal.
Okay, we saw the earthquake segment, which we live in LA.
Yeah.
We did. We had earthquakes.
It was true.
They were scary.
Yes, they felt Then we see Ovi and David get their camp comeback outfits. It's a whole thing, whatever.
It's cute. Sure. Jess is upset to Jackson.
Okay. So Jess apparently thinks that she and Jackson are super close. And he is comforting her in this moment. He's a human who's she's upset. I'm going to console her.
Yeah.
But Jess is Jackson is on my side and this is wonderful. And it's no, he's not.
He had a hand in you going up.
Yeah.
And if he wins HOH, he's going to put you up.
Yeah.
No.
So.
Moving on.
Sorry.
Now we pick our veto players.
Right.
So besides the nominees, we have Bella, Jackson, and Sam playing.
Right.
Oh, Sam's in the mix.
Okay.
We also have extra incentive because they know that they have a Fiji trip.
Yes. You know what? I'm going to give Sam the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to chalk up his performance to him really wanting to go to Fiji.
I mean, he did.
Because I don't understand the strategy otherwise.
Right.
Spoiler alert, obviously Sam wins the veto, right?
Right.
It's very close between him and Kimi. Well, in the end, it's not very close because her stack sort of crumbles.
But almost, yeah. She was almost there.
She was almost there. She was trying to find a place for like 2 more frogs and then she would have beat Sam, but she fails in the end and Sam wins the veto. Now, this makes no sense to me. And Jack is already calling Sam a veto beast. That is no good for your game, Sam.
It's not Sam.
You do not want to be known as
the
that.
problem was he shouldn't have won the first one. Like,
Right.
obviously you're going to try to win the one with the trip to Fiji.
Sure, yeah.
But now you've won 2 vetoes in a row.
Right. Well, and I'm thinking there is no way that Sam is going to use this veto because he already used the first one, right? You don't want to become known as this person who always wins veto and then always uses it.
No, right.
Because you're like sort of going against the HOH when you use the veto, right? So it's not smart if you're not on the block to use the veto.
Yeah.
But we do see Kimi and Jess both make their case to Sam to take them off the block.
Sure, well you have to make the case.
You have to.
You have to play the game.
Yeah.
But they were unsuccessful. He's not going to use it.
No.
He wasn't planning on using it to begin with. They would have had to have something major.
Right.
And there is some information that he finds out later that had he known before this, he might have used that veto to make a move.
Yeah.
But he, at this point, no.
All Jess and Kimi can really do is appeal to his emotions or talk game, right? And they both take different approaches. Jess is talking about my family, your family, we're both playing for our family, right? Which is like fair, okay, fine. But then I loved how Kimi was actually talking game. She was like, I will never put you up. I will be a number for you. Jess is more likely to put you up on the block than I am. Please keep me. And I'm like, that's smart. That's playing Big Brother to me.
And Sam is closer to Kimi, and like that would mean something to him.
Yeah.
Also, Sam was like, if Jess comes up to me and campaigns about like, I'm here for my family, because they're the two with family.
Right.
He was like, I'm not about it. I'm just gonna get up and walk out. And so sure enough, like that's what she pitches to him, and he's like, not buying it, lady.
No.
We should go back to Jackson and Jess because it plays into during veto picking. She gets house guest choice and she picks Jackson.
Right.
Which looks weird.
So weird.
And I love that David was like, she should not have done that.
Why? Yeah, again,
like,
David has clarity.
All of us. Exactly.
Yes. He's like, why would you pick a person from the side of the house that is
that
literally responsible for putting you up?
Block.
Yes. A mess. We should also say that it was fun to see Tyler back in the house for hosting this veto competition.
It was. He was there to host.
Yeah.
That was cute. We've seen this comp before. They have like an aqua timer and they're stacking something.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting that Kimi and Sam had the same strategy where they started just piling up frogs where everybody else was like filling up their aqua thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was interesting that those were the two that did the best.
Yeah.
I don't really know if that helped or whatever.
Yeah, right. You never know what's gonna work, but...
But we already sort of said that he doesn't use the power of veto.
Right.
But we should mention that he did have a sad moment.
It was sad when he got that letter about his grandpa dying.
Yeah. I can't imagine getting that news inside that house.
Oh my God.
It's such a crazy experience to be locked in there.
Yeah.
And to get any sort of bad news, which has happened before.
Yeah.
And everyone comforts you, genuinely.
It's so surreal to like be in the midst of this game and so secluded from the outside world and then to realize like, oh, life is going on without me and like someone has passed away. It's very sad, but it sort of takes everyone out of the game for, you know, however long it was. And it was nice to see sort of everyone in that room just taking a pause and just being there for Sam, and like, it's nice that he had support there.
And he did say in the letter, it was actually his wife's grandfather, and so she sort of phrased it as like, you know, I'm surrounded by my family, please stay there, you know. don't come home. So that's good that he doesn't feel like, oh, I have to rush there for my wife and be there for her.
Right.
But he, you know, he has mentioned on the feeds, like, he thinks about his grandpa. I can't believe that's the last time he saw him. So, you know, my heart goes out to him for sure.
It is a bummer. And then the last thing we see in this Wednesday episode is the veto ceremony, which, as we have said, Sam decides not to use the veto. Jess and Kimi are our final nominees for this week.
All right, now on to Thursday's live eviction show.
Okay, so at the beginning, we see an alliance that gives me so much hope for him because it's with people who are not in the Grateful. It's Cliff, Nicole, and Ovi, 3 players who just don't really have a home in the house, and so like I'm just so happy to see them come together, and I think it's great to see Ovi, who's like on the outs but still trying to make moves in the game. This is Grateful.
Yeah.
This is Grateful. Ah! This is great. They're coming together and like trying to make something happen outside of this like Grateful alliance.
And honestly, I love their name.
Yes.
Fellowship of the Zing. Are you kidding me?
Thank you, Cliff, for coming up with that.
They're 3 super fans. They're adorably nerdy.
Nerdy, yes.
All of this I love. I think we brought them up on maybe Monday's episode where we were talking about this alliance. But rest in peace.
I mean, honestly, But I will say, like, one of the best alliance names I think I've ever seen on Big Brother.
Oh, I'm so mad that that's not going to be like an iconic name that we think about all season.
Because.
Well, I mean, hopefully. Maybe it will. Maybe it will.
Well, listen.
It's not over yet.
After we get these, like, showman segments, we establish that, like, Nick and Bella are officially a thing.
Yeah.
Jack and Sis are officially, like,
they
kind of a
hadn't shown
thing
that
now.
one yet.
Happy birthday to Jack, whatever. Then we get...
Like they kind of did Sis dirty with that edit, did they not?
Did,
okay,
yes. But I don't need to get into that because, like, I'm going to get heated.
Don't really care.
But then we get to just a demoralizing segment in this episode of Big Brother where Cliff is up, doing his morning routine, making coffee. I'm loving it. Like, Cliff, yes, you're an old man. You're up before everybody else. You're up with the sun. Like, let's get the day going. Let me go and cam talk to my friends and loved ones.
He cares about us. He cares about us feedsters.
Yes.
He has called, I think we talked about this early on, like, one of our first episodes, that he's, like, calling out, you know, podcasters who talk about Big Brother.
Yes.
Like Cliff Notes in the morning. Like, we love this.
We love you, Cliff.
Oh, no.
But
it is ruined.
Stop talking so loudly.
He is doing it inside the house loudly. That is a mistake.
You're not even whispering. I get it. You think you're up before everyone else.
The yard.
But you don't know who else is up, wandering around the house. Maybe they gotta go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. I don't know. Something happened with Christy, and Christy's up listening into the door, and you're giving her all the information.
Do you know what happened to Christy?
No, what?
She said the universe was shaking her bladder so that she could hear Cliff talking.
Goodbye.
Yes.
I'm out.
I'm beginning to think the universe hates us.
This is the worst.
Why? Why, universe? Why?
I can't.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, the morning that this happened, I was like depressed that day. This was
I would be
so
too.
Heartbreaking, and then to see it again on the show, it's just devastating.
Because of course, like, Christy's thrilled, right? Like, she's like, I just heard his whole game. I heard the alliance. I heard the alliance name. Like, he called out Tommy and I as a couple. Like, this is a lot of very valuable info.
Wait, it's valuable info handled correctly.
Yes.
What does she do though? She just blabs it.
Classic Christy.
Loves to tell a story. Yeah. And I feel like she ruined it, actually. Like, she was handed gold.
Yes.
And then she just went and told just about everybody. Honestly, she even told Sam, who's not in Grateful.
No.
And like, he has this extra information. And she included that he was thinking of her and Tommy as a couple.
Which...
Wait, he clocked you guys.
Yeah.
And then you told other people? Like, they're not clocking you, so why are you giving them that information?
She can't stop it.
Now they're going to think of them as a couple.
Right.
Why? I think she had useful information and ruined it.
It's a competition, honestly, between Christy and Bella for America's biggest mouth. Like, they
Seriously.
just both are blabbing all the information all the time.
They really are. She just proceeded to ruin everything.
And she's so excited about it. And like, of course, everyone else is like, great, give me all the info. And I'm just like, oh, Cliff, like, you just should know better. As a Big Brother superfan, you should know better than to talk out loud like that in the middle of the house.
I know. Is he hard of hearing? Is he talking extra loud?
No, I think he's just up at 6 in the morning and he thinks all these young people are still in bed.
You know what?
But you're wrong.
So Big Brother does a wake-up call every morning. They'll shut down the feeds because they'll play a song and we can't hear the song. And they say, wake up, house guests. So the house guests are used to just sleeping until they get that wake-up call.
Sure.
But because Christy was at the door listening to Cliff, and because that's also Cliff's like cue to like shut it down because people are going to start getting up. Big Brother didn't wake them up. Big Brother stayed silent, let Christy stay at the door, did not give Cliff that cue, and later they were all like, it was so weird that Big Brother didn't wake us up this morning.
That is
what happened?
Messed up.
Right?
Wow.
Big Brother was like, we gotta let this roll.
Ugh, I could talk about this for hours, but
Okay,
we've got to
moving
move on.
on.
Yes. So now we get Nicole talking to Kimi and sort of exposing Bella and saying like, just so you know, like Bella told Jack about the Black Widows, and that's like kind of why you're on the block.
Right.
And so we can't really trust Bella. So then Kimi, very smartly, like CBS, there was a segment in the Wednesday episode, which I think we forgot to talk about, but CBS kind of tried to make Kimi seem like a psycho, right? When she's like cam talking and they're like editing it to make her seem like, I'm gonna slit your throat, like that kind of thing, which I do not think that's who Kimi is because of the way she handles this information about Bella. She could easily flip out, and I think that's why they cast Kimi. They wanted her to be this like angry black woman who's like gonna flip out on everybody in the house.
Exactly, and she's the opposite of that.
Yeah, so she takes this information about Bella and she's like, let me try to use this to my advantage.
Right.
I'm just going to try to expose her to Jackson and Jack.
Right, so she tells Jackson and she reveals that perfect little nugget about their final 3, because that's the kind of stuff where you're like, that's not information a lot of people have.
Right.
She must have said this. So Jackson then reports it back to Jack, along with the fact that Christy overheard Cliff. Like, there's just a lot of information going around, and they're just kind of like shaking their mind. But honestly, no matter how you edit this, it doesn't matter. Like, yes, you can reveal what Bella is doing. And honestly, there was a ton more that also includes Nick. Like, this whole week on the feeds was really like a revealing who Nick and Bella are. Playing both sides, revealing too much information, putting words out there that haven't been said. And the 6 shooters, which is Grateful minus Nick and Bella, are really like, we're done with Nick and Bella. Like, we see who they are. We get them out as soon as possible if we can. But that doesn't have anything to do with Kimi. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kimi is trying, they're taking that information, but that doesn't mean they're gonna keep Kimi because Nick and Bella are rats.
Right.
You know?
Right. And we see, you know, when we see Jackson on the show come to Jack with this information, Jack is like resistant to it because he's so focused on getting Kimi out. He's like, well, can we really trust Kimi? And it's like, but how would Kimi know about a final 3 between you and Jackson and Bella unless Bella told her directly? Like, he's just like so distrustful of Kimi that he questions how she has information when there's really no other way for her to have this information unless Bella told her.
Jack hasn't liked Kimi from day one.
Right, blinders.
We know that.
Yes.
And here we are. This is why we're here.
Yeah.
But things get interesting when finally Bella uses her power for good instead of evil, and she tells Sam about Grateful. She's so excited to just reveal this information. Sam is like, wait a minute, I'm the 9th of an 8-person alliance? Like, the math just doesn't add up. And she's all like, but it's okay, it's okay,
but it's good. No, it's a good thing that you're the 9 because you're like with us, and he must be thinking, okay, great that I'm with you, but I also like the first person out of the alliance.
Obviously, I'm not really with you if I'm not in the alliance.
I didn't know what the alliance was.
This is a good point, Sam. This really gets the wheels a-spinning in Sam's head. This is the information that I'm saying. Had he had before the veto ceremony, things might have gone differently.
Yeah.
But too late. Here we are.
Yeah, right. We do see him go to Jack, and this was another amazing conversation where he's just saying like, oh, Jack, like what do we need to consider this and that? And Jack is like, well, I'm just trying to do what's best for Grateful.
What? Who?
Literally says Grateful. And
the 9.
The 9 house guest. Which also The 9 doesn't mean anything. Okay, like let's be clear. That is also not a thing. You did not save face at all. Like Jack was busted and Sam played it off very well.
Yeah, luckily Sam, because he knew, just like rolled with it. If he didn't know, he'd have been like, the what? What did you
What
say?
is the grateful?
You know, whatever. So it just slid through. But to just back us up a little bit, Sam woke up that morning because he had just been told the night before about Grateful, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, why am I doing Jack's dirty work? I'm not in that alliance. Let's keep Kimi, let's get Jess out. So he first goes to Nick, who's in a room with Bella and Nicole.
Yes.
And he's like, Nick.
Now this is stuff we did not see on the show.
This is just the whole like Save Kimi campaign.
Yes.
He says, Nick, why are we doing this? Jess is the one going after all the guys. Kimi's only going after Jack. We're just saving Jack. Jess is more dangerous. We gotta vote to evict Jess. And first Nick is like, no, we gotta do what's best for Jack. Whatever Jack says, we gotta do it. He's like, why? Why are you being so loyal to Jack? Why?
So then eventually Nick's kind of like, okay, well, fine. If you can get the votes, like, let's flip it. Fine. So here's what we got. We got Nick and Bella, we got Sam, we got Nicole. That's 4. Well, we could probably get Cliff. That's 5. Now we just need to get one more person and we can maybe flip the vote. Now we just need to get one more person who's most sort of vulnerable or easiest to flip from, you know, that Grateful Alliance. Well, maybe it's Christy and Tommy. Let's go talk to them.
Right. We're not supposed to know that Tommy and Christy are aligned with the Jacks. We just think they're all friendly.
Yeah.
So they think that Tommy and Christy would be the 2 that they could get over, and that's more than enough.
Yeah.
So they sort of divide and conquer. So what we saw was Sam going to Jack, but Nick said he'd go to Christy, which he did. Christy's like, heck yeah, Kimi will go after Jack. I love it, because Christy talks mad stuff about Jack when he's not in the room.
Right.
And then she turns around to Jack and she's like, love you, buddy. We're final 2. Christy is so in Jack's pocket that as soon as she talks to Jack, she's not gonna ever do this. So Christy eventually, Holly insists, or like, definitely no. Jack's like, yeah, I don't really want to do it. Christy's like, okay, then yeah, like if Jack's not on board, I'm not gonna really like flip something, you know. And also people start getting heated, like, why are they trying to flip a vote? Jack and Jackson are like, why would we flip a vote? Why would we do this? And so ultimately by the end of yesterday, they had 5 votes. They just needed one more, and this is what frustrates me, is you should have kept with those 5 votes. Why then say, if we can't get our 6th one, we're just gonna go with the House? That's not where we are with this.
So, and here's where Sarah's point comes into play. So let's get back to what we saw on the show.
Yes.
So we see Jess and Kimi give their speeches. Jess's is long and Julie's like, hurry it up, like finish it up.
Get it going, girl.
Kimi gets up there and she's like, Nick and Bella are snakes. We stand Queen Kimi, okay? Then the voting happens. There is a hinky vote.
And it's Jackson of all people.
Yes.
I mean, I'm like, oh, hey Jackson, I'm finally like maybe gonna like you.
Paying attention to you. So he's like, let's get this thing started.
Yeah,
I vote to evict Jessica. He's the only person who votes to evict Jessica. But guess what would have happened if those other 5 people had been like, let's just try and see what happens if they had voted Jessica and then Jackson was the hinky vote. Jessica would be the one heading upstairs to Camp Comeback and not Kimi. But alas, it was a 10-1 vote and Kimi is evicted, but really just going upstairs for now.
And who's to say, if Jackson knew that there were gonna probably be some votes, maybe he wouldn't have thrown a hinky vote. But I'm just saying, go for it and just see if you can get it.
Yeah.
Like why? It's just
people are too
so
scared.
annoying.
They are too
that
scared.
You just default to, well, then I'll go to the House if I can't guarantee I'm gonna get my way.
It's not even like I'm voting with the House. It's like I'm voting with Jack. Like I'm doing what Jack wants me to do because everyone is too scared of him right now. Hopefully now that he's not HOH anymore and out of power, he'll have less effect. But probably not. So let's get into the HOH competition.
HOH competition happens immediately. Poor Kimi has to go upstairs.
Yes.
With the dudes. And so now we're at basically a crapshoot. Big target. Got a like Nerf arrow thing.
Sure, you're like tossing underhanded.
Whatever. Who's gonna get this?
It's just like you hit the highest score and you win HOH, right? Everybody gets one try.
There's a $5,000 spot and a safety spot.
Yes, right.
And I feel like Jess was going towards the 5,000.
Which is strange.
You were just on the block, Jess. You are not safe.
If anything, go for safety. Like, why are you going for $5,000?
I think she wanted that 5. She didn't get
Whatever.
it,
I think she got 0.
Yeah.
Early on, Christy gets like 75. I'm like, if we get another Christy HOH, like,
not on board with it. Don't want it.
Then Nick gets 90 points, and nobody can beat him, so Nick is our HOH.
Also not on board. Don't want it.
No.
It's just a bad week. I would have supported a Nick HOH many a time because I kind of appreciate that he's like kind of a mess and all over the place.
Yeah.
But he's this whole past week, he has had to push and work overtime to show his loyalty to Jack. And so this is just bad timing. Yeah. All he can do is whatever Jack tells him to do.
Oh, of course.
At this moment.
Because like his game just got kind of blown up in this like eviction speech by Kimi.
Right.
So he had the potential to make moves and maybe go after someone who had too much power, but now he's just going to do whatever Grateful wants, and it's another week of Grateful doing whatever they want to do. And I would say that his targets are the people on the other side of the house. It's a Cliff, it's a Nicole, it's a Jess.
Unfortunately, Cliff moved up because of overhearing.
Yeah.
Christy has said she wants Cliff to go this week. Now, Holly and Jackson and Sis are starting to not like Christy because she's so loud and just sort of lays things out. Her and Jack both, they kind of just go, so Cliff's out next week, and then that's it. They don't let other people give input.
Sure.
And Holly is like, what? Why can't I suggest something? I don't necessarily want Cliff to go. Like, there are other people who are maybe worse for my game.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily down with that. But Nick isn't gonna like, you know, there's not going to be a big conversation when it's Nick HOH. He's just going to be like, oh, you guys want Cliff? I'll go after Cliff. You know what I mean?
Right.
So unfortunately, I think Cliff is in some real danger. They'll probably put Jess up as well.
Why wouldn't they?
And maybe use Kat as like a backup because she's kind of just in that
not doing
spot.
much. Yeah, right.
You know, I think a lot of people are liking Kat more and more because she's not crazy when she's not on the block. But they also aren't super. We should say she actually is working with Holly. Like, we know that Kat and Holly know each other.
Yeah.
And even though Jackson and Holly are now together, they have talked privately about how no one would suspect that they're working together because the house thinks, ooh, they're gonna hate each other.
Yeah.
So they are aligned even more now.
Smart.
Kat's doing just fine.
Yeah, right.
We should say that right after the show on the live feeds, it was a bit heated because of Kimi's speech. Nick and Bella obviously heated and not super happy. Yeah. And there is a moment. Bella put hands on Kimi and Kimi says,
"Don't touch me.
Do not." And that obviously, like Sam, jumped in, like nothing happened, but it's certainly close to it.
Yes.
So this is interesting.
And this is just Camp Comeback, you know? Like, this is what it means to have the house guests evicted, but still in the house. Like, these are the sort of, like, confrontations that are possible in this kind of a situation. So...
Also, poor Nicole. She has talked a lot to Holly and Sis and Christy this week and has said, like, Nick makes me uncomfortable, like, I'm learning things about them, and they're feeling closer and closer to her, and they're like, we love Nicole, she's great, she's great. But tonight, for whatever reason, it all clicked, and she was like, oh my god, I can't believe I've been so stupid. It's the 8 of them in an alliance. They're all together. Nick wins the HOH, and they're ecstatic. They're all, and she named the 8. But she's like, how did I not see this? I know this show. And it's like, I know! So Nicole is figuring things out. It might be too late.
It's too late.
She might be targeted because Nick thinks of her with Kimi, like she could be roped in. They're trying to blame this hinky vote on her, although I did hear Nick quickly say, like, I don't think she did it. So I don't know. There's just a lot of things up in the air that could start to unravel pieces here and there this week. So maybe it's going to get exciting, guys. Maybe.
Maybe. I don't have a whole lot of faith.
I mean, I think we're going to lose somebody not in Grateful.
I mean, look, eventually,
which stinks.
Fine. But, like, eventually Grateful has to turn on each other and, like, it's going to get interesting. So, like,
I guess that's where
we
we're
just
going.
maybe have to hold out until then, but
I guess they'll be the jury.
at least for this week. But okay, one hope that we do have at the very end of this Thursday episode, Julie comes back and she says there's going to be an old school BB power.
Classic, yeah.
Yeah, classic BB power. We don't know what that is, but people are speculating that it's either the coup d'etat or the diamond power of veto. Now, with the coup d'etat, someone who is not the HOH gets to take down both nominees and replace them with 2 new nominees. Diamond power veto is similar, except you win it and you take down one nominee and you get to name the replacement as opposed to the HOH. So you're either taking down 2 or you're taking down 1 if it's one of those powers.
Right, because she does say classic, so you're like, what are the classic ones?
Old school,
but
right.
Honestly, we already have. Ovi's power has to do with nominees. Then the second power had to do with veto. I just kind of thought the natural next step would be something around eviction.
Sure.
Remember, what did Jess have? Jess had something.
Oh, yeah.
The halting hex or whatever.
The halting hex.
And that was going to be during eviction. I just feel like it's something on eviction, but I don't know that there's a classic thing.
Right.
With eviction.
It has to be classic.
Maybe you guys can think about that.
Right.
I can't think of something right now.
Yeah.
But that would be the third Whacktivity comp.
Yeah.
And then she does say that next Thursday will be another live eviction. And she says we'll also find out who is going to be coming back from Camp Comeback. So it sounds like all of that will happen.
What a show. That's going to be an action-packed show.
Whoever that fourth one will then immediately be involved in whatever that is.
Yes, right.
Comp, please, not a vote.
Please. All right.
Well, ups and downs.
Yes.
There is plenty of game happening though.
Plenty.
I just really want some more things to mix it up.
I need something to happen so that it's not just
Break
this
up that
slow march until the Grateful is the final 8. But I'm sure it's Big Brother, expect the unexpected. Something's going to happen. I have faith.
What did you guys think about Kimi being evicted? Mick winning HOH?
Yes, and what do you think this classic BB power is? Let us know what you think, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, bye.